Do I really need all of these basses? The past year or so has been a weird and very difficult one for me. I've channeled some of my excess emotions into my collection of musical instruments. In that time, I sold all 4 of my basses, plus the 1 electric guitar I owned, bought several new ones, and sold or returned a few of those as well. Now I'm taking a breath, and taking stock of what I've got on my hands. I'm wondering if I really need all of these basses. Need is a very subjective word. Technically, to the extent that I intend to continue playing the type of music I've been playing, both on my own and with others, I do need at least 1 bass, but I certainly don't need all of them. So, what's my justification for keeping each, and how likely am I to sell any of them? Let's take a closer look. Here are my 7 current basses. Yes, 7, the most I've ever owned at one time, ranked by how essential I think they are to me. Number 7, Squire Classic Vibe Bass 6, Purple Rain. Best feature, it's a bass 6. Worst issue, it's a bass 6. Mods, none. Primary use case, recording when I want that bass 6 sound, or gigging when I want to play guitar and bass on the same song. Would I sell it? Not yet. Someday I will fully internalize the fact that I'm never really going to use it. Number 6, Squire 40th Anniversary Jazz Bass, Fraternal Twin No. 1. Best feature, it's better than the $2,000 American Ultra I sold before it. Worst issue, slightly raised 11th fret causes buzzing on a couple of notes on the G string. Mods, DiMarzio Ultra Jazz pickups and controls, mint pickguard. Also, the drummer in one of my bands modified the control plate for me so the DiMarzio tone pot would fit. Primary use case, as a backup. Would I sell it? Yes, for the right price. As much as I loved it when I got it, at this point I'm mainly keeping it just to have a backup bass that I can bring out under questionable conditions, like an outdoor gig with rain in the forecast, or in a seedy bar where it might get damaged or stolen. Number 5, Yamaha BB435, the Dark Shadow. Best feature, a 5th string. Worst issue, the stock pickguard made it look kinda dumb. Mods, black pickguard with orange accents. Primary use case, any situation where I need a 5 string. Would I sell it? No, unless I got my hands on a better 5 string. Number 4, G&L Tribute Kiloton, the Fearsome Fretless. Best feature, the hot pickup. Worst issue, basically unfinished neck. Mods, Gibson-style knobs. Primary use case, any situation where I need a fretless. Would I sell it? No, unless I got my hands on a better fretless. Number 3, Fender Player Jaguar Bass, Fraternal Twin No. 2. Best feature, best overall QC I've ever seen on a Made in Mexico Fender. Worst issue, the stock pickguard had a slight bulge. Mods, Sangre del Diablo pickguard, DiMarzio Noiseless Ultra Jazz bridge pickup, chrome knobs. Primary use case, gigging. Would I sell it? Extremely unlikely. Number 2, Squire 40th Anniversary Precision Bass, the Red Owl. Best feature, the neck. Worst issue, slightly oversized control cavity isn't completely covered by replacement pickguards. Mods, DiMarzio Split P pickup, pickguard and controls. Stickers, Ivoroid capped knobs. Primary use case, recording. Would I sell it? No. Number 1, Fender Player Special Edition Mustang Bass, the Buttermint. Best feature, short scale. Worst issue, stock bridge design. Mods, DiMarzio Ultra Jazz bridge pickup, Fender High Mass bridge, chrome knobs. Goto tuners and bridge are on the way. Primary use case, any, especially when the situation demands a short scale, such as when I have to play fast notes on the lowest frets or when my arthritis is acting up. Would I sell it? Never! Bonus, Squire J Mascis Signature Jazzmaster. Best feature, it made me realize there's a context where I actually do like an anodized pickguard. Worst issue, I'd probably prefer a guitar with a hardtail bridge. Odds, none. Primary use case, recording, since I never perform live on guitar. Would I sell it? Yes, if I bought a Telecaster. So what have I learned from all of this? I think the biggest insight is that there's been a real flattening of the quality of production instruments across the board, from entry-level instruments produced in China and Indonesia to mid-range instruments from Mexico and supposedly high-end instruments produced in the United States. Which means, unless you're getting something custom-built, it really isn't worth paying for an American-made instrument. Another thing I learned is that Fender's factory in Mexico seems to be finally coming out of its quality control slump. The two Mexican-made Fenders I own right now are some of the best Fenders I've ever played. I've also learned how superficial my taste is. A lot of what was driving me to churn through instruments, besides personal issues that had nothing to do with the gear, was disliking the colors of the instruments. Ultimately, no one can tell you for sure what will work for you. You've just got to try things out and see. And that's where the real challenge is. Because I'm an introvert who's not comfortable going into a guitar shop and trying a bunch of instruments in that context, I've bought all of my instruments online from either Sweetwater or Chicago Music Exchange. Both are great companies that I highly recommend, but even though they inspect their instruments before they ship them out, they can't guarantee it's the right instrument for you. Sweetwater has a generous return policy, which I've made use of at least 3 or 4 times, but it's still an effort, and sometimes it takes a bit longer than 30 days to really know whether or not you love an instrument. Back to the question that started this video. Do I really need all of these basses? No. But if I were forced to choose just one to keep, honestly, the red Squire 40th Anniversary Precision bass probably brings me the most joy. It feels great to play. The neck in particular is my favorite neck on any bass I've ever tried. It also sounds fantastic and is perfect for both gigs and recording. But it's a one-trick pony. That's the nature of a P bass. And even though I'm mostly over my decal envy, it does still say Squire on the headstock. Then there's the Fender Player Mustang. I don't like the feel of the neck on it quite as much as the Precision, but it has the ergonomic benefits of a slim, short-scale neck, which I can't overstate. Plus, it has the versatility of the PJ pickup configuration. Now that I've upgraded it with a high-mass bridge and a more powerful and noiseless DiMarzio Bridge J pickup, it may truly be the one bass in this collection that I can't live without. And I even like the color. As for the rest, there are situations that demand a fretless or a 5-string, so those instruments are safe, even if they don't see much use. The fraternal twins do seem redundant. I don't really need both the Jaguar and the Jazz. I don't really need either of them, but I love seafoam green. So at least one is definitely going to stay, and it will be the Jaguar for multiple reasons, even though I do have a special attachment to this particular jazz bass. That leaves the Squire Classic Vibe Bass 6. It looks cool, but I know I'm rarely going to use it. I find the Bass 6 very difficult to play. It's in an awkward middle ground between a guitar and a bass. The string spacing and neck length make it a weird adjustment for either a bassist or a guitarist. You really have to commit to it, and I haven't. I have 2 other big problems with it though, and they're interconnected. Low string tension and a ringy tone caused by the tremolo bridge. Together they make it sound muddy and murky when played as a bass. Yeah, it's cool that the Beatles used it on the White Album and Let It Be, but honestly, it kinda sounds like crap on both of those albums. I think Glenn Campbell made it sound good when he used it as more of a baritone guitar, and Robert Smith uses it effectively as a gloom machine with The Cure, but those sounds aren't often a part of the music I play. In other words, I don't really like the Bass 6, but now that I have one, how could I ever get rid of it? Let's invert that opening question. Do I really need to sell any of these basses? Also no. And maybe owning all of them will deter me from buying any more. After all, I finally have all of the bases covered.